Today, we're going to look at how to get really good quality audio for your podcast. We're going to talk a bit about the equipment you need, how it all connects together, as well as what settings you might want to use to make sure you get the best quality. So firstly, you're going to need a microphone, and there's loads of different options which will work great for podcasts for all manner of budgets. Here I've got a Shure SM7B. This is quite commonly used in a podcast scenario. This is an example of a dynamic microphone, which just refers to the way that the microphone actually picks up sound. Another common dynamic microphone that you might see is something like a Shure SM58. This is one of the sort of industry standard microphones for live vocals, but it also works great if you want a handheld solution for a podcast. And the good thing about both of these is that they have built-in wind brakes or pop shields. So the big fluffy bit on here and the grill on here will protect your recordings against P's and B's, your plosives, from causing pops and crackles and basically overloading whatever you're recording onto and ruining your recording. So the other type of microphone commonly used is a condenser microphone like this. This is a large diaphragm condenser. It's an AT2020 by Audio-Technica. Condensers versus dynamic microphones usually offer a bit more detail, especially in the higher frequencies, but all of them sound great on vocals, and it kind of depends on what type of voice you have and also your budget. Any of these would work absolutely fine. The one thing to consider with a large diaphragm condenser like this and most other ones is that they don't have a built-in pop filter. It does have a grill on it, but if you get close to it, you will find that your plosives will cause issues. So you'll need to make sure that you have a pop filter, which is basically a piece of fabric that goes in between the microphone and your voice and just takes care of all those plosives for you. So these are just 3 options of microphones. There's tons of others that you can choose from, which are perfectly valid and great for doing podcasts. The other thing to consider is microphone technique, and that is a really big factor in the sound you're going to get from your recording. So my advice is, once you've got everything set up, put some headphones on and do some test recordings, and basically just take your microphone and try it really close to your mouth, further away from your mouth, maybe off to the side slightly, and just find out what works best for your microphone and your voice type. So once you've chosen a microphone, it's about working out how to place it. Now you have traditional mic stands you can use, which work great. And if you're going the handheld route, that's fine. You just got to make sure that you're not moving your hand around too much so that you're getting lots of scuffling sounds. But using something like this is actually a really cool way of having the microphone on the desk. You can move it around and it's always set up, ready for you to go. So this is an articulated boom arm. You can pick them up quite cheap. Go check them out. The next thing is something to record your microphone to. So you can get portable recorders which record to an SD card, you plug a microphone in, but in terms of getting the best value for money and the best audio quality for money, getting an audio interface to plug it directly into your computer is probably the way to go. So this is Evo 4, it's our 2-channel audio interface, so you can have 2 microphones in at the same time. Perfect if you are co-hosting or you have a guest on your podcast. It's completely run off your computer via USB, so if you are remote, you can just have your laptop, an audio interface, and your mic or mics, and record an entire podcast. On the front, you have a headphone output, which is great if you actually want to listen to what's happening live. But one of the things that separates Evo 4 from other audio interfaces is the smart gain feature it's got on it. So this green button here basically lets you automatically set your input gain for your microphones. So I'll give you a quick demonstration of just how quick and easy it is to get levels set. We've got the SM7B plugged into input 1 with an XLR cable. Then all you have to do is press the smart gain button, the channel or channels that you want to set the gain for, so you could do yours and your guest's mic at the same time, and then press the button again. So now it's going to be analyzing our microphone, and you just have to talk into it exactly how you're going to be talking in the podcast. Usually it's a good idea to try and speak as loud as you're going to speak in the podcast. So if you're going to have a heated debate or if you're going to be telling jokes and people are going to be laughing, then it's a good idea to try and do that. So after you've been talking for a bit, the smart gain button will flash green, which means that it's finished analyzing and it's set the level for you. If you want to set the level manually, you can just press the channel that you want and then adjust on here and it will change the gain. And the same goes if you don't have an Evo 4 audio interface with smart gain. You can manually set the level of your audio interface, but we'll get into the audio software now so you can actually see how to set your level manually if you'd like. It doesn't really matter what audio software you use, it just depends if it gets the job done for you. Each of them have different features and different levels of complexity to them. One of the benefits of buying Evo 4 is that you actually get a free copy of Cubase LE, which is an audio software which has editing capabilities, it's got some mix capabilities. Basically, it's got everything you need to get started with your podcast. Whatever audio software you end up choosing, it's a good idea to try and create some sort of template system. This means you could have tracks with the set processing already on it so that you can just edit and export and it's ready to go. You could have your intro jingle and outro jingle or even sponsored content on separate channels, and everything can be nicely labeled and ready to go just to make it a lot easier for you. So we previously set up a level with Evo 4 using the Smart Gain and the SM7B, and now we'll just jump into Cubase LE, which as I said comes free with Evo 4, get the channel set up, get the audio in and out as it should, and then we can get to recording the podcast. So now we're in Cubase LE, and the first thing we want to do is make sure that Evo 4 is selected as the audio device so that we can get the audio in and out. So here we go up to Studio and then Studio Setup. And then on the VST audio system, we just make sure that Evo 4 is selected. This option will be very similar in other audio softwares. It's usually in a preferences menu or some kind of audio setup menu. So now we need to create some channels. So we right click here, click Add Audio Track. And then here we'd make sure that the input 1 is selected. So that is our first channel on Evo 4. Mono configuration, output stereo out, and we can call it host. So now add track. Now if we had a second microphone, we would then do that again and just make sure that input 2 is selected. So as you can see, we have audio coming into Cubase, but before we move on, I just want to show you how to manually set the gain in case you don't have Evo 4 or don't want to use Smart Gain. So I'll just turn the gain all the way down on Evo 4. Now you can see there's nothing coming in. So what we're interested in is this number here, which is showing the peak level. We want to try and get that so at the loudest you're talking, it peaks at around about minus 10 dB. This gives 10 dB of extra headroom just so if you are a bit louder when you're recording, as opposed to when you're trying to set the level, it's not going to clip and it's not going to cause distortion and ruin your podcast. So I'm just going to turn up the gain on the SM7B, and then we're going to stop as soon as it hits minus 10 dB. So it peaked at minus 7 just then, so I'll turn it down just a little bit, reset that. And right now we're at a relatively healthy level, minus 9 pretty much. It gives us plenty of space above just in case we're a little bit louder when we're recording. So we've now got the gain set manually. As you can see, it's a little bit more fiddly and you have to concentrate a bit more than if you were just using Smart Gain. This is one of the reasons why we wanted to include something like Smart Gain, so you could just have a conversation with your guest and get the level set without you having to be focused on getting the audio set up, and then it's ready to go. So now we're recording audio into Cubase through the SM7B and the Evo 4, and this is the audio that you're hearing right now. There is, however, one more thing that you might want to consider, and that's whether you want to hear anything in some headphones. Some people feel more comfortable having headphones on while they're recording so that they can make sure that they can hear if there are any issues as they crop up, or maybe you're actually having a remote conversation with someone. So let's just quickly go through how to get headphones set up on Evo 4 to make sure that you can hear everything you want to hear. So if you do want to be able to hear yourself or something coming back from the computer, then get yourself a nice comfy pair of headphones. It's good to use an over-the-ear, over-the-head style if you can, because this will be great for longer podcast sessions and more comfortable than using in-ear buds or something that would come with a phone, for example. So you take these and you plug them into the front of Evo 4, and then you just need to decide what it is you're wanting to listen back to. So if you want to hear your microphone, then you're going to want to make use of the direct monitoring feature, which Evo 4 has. The reason being, if you were to try and listen through your computer rather than through your interface, your computer will add a delay as it's basically processing your audio and then sending it out to your headphones. And this can be really distracting when you're trying to talk if you have a delayed version in your headphones. So the direct monitoring feature basically takes your microphone and sends it straight out to your headphones with absolutely no delay. And you can blend that in with whatever's happening on your computer as well using the monitor mix feature. So you basically press the monitor mix button, which is above the speaker button, and then you rotate the knob, and then you balance between what's on your computer and what's on your input. So all the way to the right is your computer, all the way to the left is your microphones, and somewhere in the middle will blend between both of them. So one final feature for podcasters who might want to have guests on, but they're not necessarily in the same room using a different microphone, you can actually record the output of things like Skype or FaceTime or other video or phone call services using Evo 4's audio loopback feature. Essentially, it lets you record your microphone as well as the output of Skype or FaceTime on a completely separate channel in your audio software so you can process them separately at different times. If you do want to find out more about this, then check out the card in the top right at the moment, or head to the description where there'll be links. So now you have everything you need to record your podcast. You have a microphone, you have your audio interface, which records your microphone and sends audio out to headphones, and you have some audio software on your computer which everything is recorded to, and obviously you can then go ahead and edit and mix it and get it ready for export. If you found this video useful, then please give it a like. If you have any questions about anything I've said or any of the gear I've been talking about, then please leave a comment and we can start a discussion. And don't forget to subscribe if you want any more audio or Evo related video content.